and joining me this week is Dermot, Joan, Stevie, and John, also from AiR. So, how are we all doing this week? Dermot, how are you?
Hi, Lindsay. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm smashing. I'm smashing. I woke this morning and I got out of my bed and I can remember going through the toilet and no more information along that lines. Um, and feeling excited. Actually sensing I'm excited. Morning routine, blah 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 blah. Got into work and then got scared because I had a really important meeting this morning. Really important for me because it's so important, and it's yeah. So I was getting myself a little bit stressed about that, but had the meeting and it went perfectly well. We hopefully reported on every aspect that we needed to, but it was that recognizing, waking in the morning, and actually saying I'm excited about this day. That was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful to sense that. So yeah, a good day in Dermot's world.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dermot. And yeah, it's nice to hear that even you, with your oodles of years' experience, still get those flutterbys and nervous. And it's, as you often tell me, it's because you care.
Absolutely.
It's because you care. So brilliant. And just a good reminder, we do record a couple of days in advance. As I'm coming to Joan next. Normally you're my reminder. How are you this week?
I'm good, thanks. I was actually going to do that reminder today because, I actually got up a little bit later this morning. I slept on. I was still up early and out walking. And the sort of walking weather forecast today it was a wee bit wet out there, but it didn't detract me. It didn't stop me. I just love getting up, getting out first thing, getting into the fresh air, looking at the changes, the season's starting to change, and it's been really dry over the past while because the duck pond was a bit drier and it was good underfoot, but it's just soaking up the outdoors before sort of starting the rest of the day. So I'm good this morning on a Tuesday morning.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joan. Yes, we record on Tuesday and air on Thursday. So for the listeners, don't worry, you've not lost a couple of days. It is Thursday. Stevie, welcome back for joining us this week. We didn't scare you off too much last week. How are you this week?
I'm actually good, Lindsay. I was listening to Dermot, and I wish I woke up like that this morning, but I woke up this morning, didn't want to get up, but I do what I do every day: put my tunes on, jump in the shower, and boom. You know what I mean? Good to get out done here. So I'm good.
Brilliant. Thanks, Stevie. And that's something we speak about regularly is that important routine and sticking to it. And I'm with you, actually. I was kind of dragging my feet a bit this morning as well. I'm a wee bit all sixes and sevens today. And last but not least, John, how are you this week?
I'm pretty good. It's been crazy busy. And absolutely, importance of routine. I need good reminding of that. But yeah, hanging in there.
Smashing. Thanks, John. And a shout out to other Stevie. Our regular Stevie is a bit under the weather today. So if you're listening on, hope you're feeling a bit better. But just to introduce this show, it's going to be following up on the show we done a couple of weeks ago at the start of April, and expanding a bit more on new opportunities. And the new timetable that AiR are looking to roll out and launch in a week and a half's time. It's getting close. I'm pretty sure that's probably adding to Dermot's excitement. I'm very excited about that myself. So good to hear what's going to be coming with that, which this is going to be the greatest show. It's definitely what's coming up. It's things to look forward to. And Dermot, you anchored the show a couple of weeks ago about the new opportunities that this latest situation that we've been in has posed to us. So do you want to maybe kick off by just introducing some of the exciting things that AiR is going to have on offer in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Thinking just as we were listening to the Greatest Showman track, I guess some of that excitement is coming from the fact that there's definite light at the end of the tunnel. We're coming out through this. Things are changing, things are lifting. Taking the ministerial statements this week continue as they have been. There's going to be a further lift in the restrictions that we've all had to suffer through. So, it's a prospects of. I'm a very hopeful person. My clan name behind the clan, you get these Scottish signature shield things, and my clan name is Has Good Hope. And I thought, wow, that's so very relevant, because I am, certainly in my recovery, I have tried to be as optimistic, whereas prior to recovery, I was so pessimistic. So this year, as it has been for everybody, that keeping optimism has been, you get a kick in the shins 2, 3, 4 times this year, and you've got to pick yourself up and but things are happening. Things are really happening. And I think that is led to that feeling of excitement. And I'm actually feeling it just now. I'm actually, I can feel it in my centre, in my core. Or maybe it's the apple seed that I ate yesterday, remember? No. Sorry, guys, another joke. Anyway, so where we are for a long extended period, we're doing a lot of work with our principal partners, Alcohol and Drugs Action, and we've been doing a lot of work in a project which was called the Recovery Peer Partnership. Now, as an outcome of that, we have developed what is now being adopted. The name is being adopted as a 6-stage model of behaviour change. And I'm not going to spend too much time speaking about that, but the other side of it is the development of what we're calling the Recovery Peer Pathway, or Developmental Pathway. And that's a process that we hopefully have pulled together, that over a period of time, and it's an extended period of time, there's a range of options, opportunities, activities, events, training, learning that we, AiR and ADA, collectively will provide to guys who wish to embark on a recovery journey, or as we would describe it, a journey of change. And all of these, the purpose behind all this is to give purpose to a day. Because I don't know, raise hands who can recognise that boredom was a killer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands jump up in the air. And I think anyone out there who has had past experience of addiction and everything that goes with that will recognise the fact that boredom was probably the main reason that we wish, or we get to a stage to change the way we feel. Because I'm bored, there's nothing happening, there's nothing to do, there's, why bother, all that pessimistic sort of outlook. And boredom is way, way, way high on that. So the development of the developmental pathway is to create opportunities that people can have and build a structure to their days and their weeks. Give themselves something to look forward to. And the more we can do that, the more we're encouraged to move forward in our recovery rather than staying stuck. So the whole process, basically, we will be launching within the next week, Lindsay, yes?
A week and a half, yeah.
Within a week and a half, we will have our new timetable, which will give an idea to everyone, and it will be circulated broadly. It was firstly through membership, and through our partner agencies and stakeholders, and through our relationships and collaboration with Integrated Alcohol Services, Integrated Drug Services, Alcohol and Drugs Action, and other stakeholder agencies in Aberdeen. It will be broadly distributed. And over that, there is what's described as the developmental pathway, and that gives an idea of what will be delivered over the course of the weekday, and including evenings and some stuff over the weekends. It's not all about learning and studying. It's about fun. It's about learning to connect. It's about giving opportunities for people to have soft entry, especially. We've discussed about it before. We've just used the word exit anxiety. When people are coming out of this, we're getting very used to being stuck indoors and in that safe comfort zone that maybe isn't very comfortable, but it's safe and it's knowledgeable. It's what we know. So there will be anxiety when people are having to engage, re-engage, coming into town, catching buses, meeting other people, etc. So we'll be given these soft options of while the level of restriction stays as it is, we will be limited to the amount of people we'll be able to have in a room. We'll still have to be physically distanced, but we will be availing pretty much everything we deliver or had delivered and some new stuff in a hybrid version. That we're calling it hybrid, but it's a blended version, so that there'll be an opportunity for small groups to meet, but also online, people from online can still join that same activity. So that's why we're calling it hybrid or blended, where people will be able to attend like a men's group on a Monday, let's say, small groups, but people will still be able to join that same group by online. We hope that will allow that soft option when people maybe don't know what it's about, they want to find out about, they can come in and join the group and find out what happens in the group and the atmosphere of the group without actually having to leave their home. The further that goes on, encourage their confidence, and hopefully there's a point of time where people will be able to come in and join on a physical basis. So,
brilliant. Thanks, Dermot. That was a really good sort of introduction to sort of where the ideas come from and what it's all about. And just picking up on your point about boredom, it's an absolute killer. And it's something I think as well that when we had Aidan Martin on the show a few months ago, it wasn't the why are you making those choices, it was the why not. What else is there to do?
Mhm.
So I guess that's the aim, is to give people those options, to give people an alternative thing to do, to fill their time. And touching back as well, it's about increasing people's recovery capital, which we've spoken about in the past. It's not just about learning the skills, it is meeting new people. And because often I think when you find recovery first, you're reflecting on your friendship groups and the people that you spend your time with, and more often than not, that's not conducive to your recovery. You've fallen in, and it's not to say that any of these people are bad people, it's just you've chosen to go down a different path, and with the crowd of people that you maybe have around you, that's not going to be the easiest. So it is like starting fresh and making new friends, and being 5 again, going to school for the first time. And not that I can remember being 5, it was far too long ago now, but yeah, it is, and it does make you anxious and nervous. And so it's good having that option to, like you say, to join in online. You're not getting thrown in. That's definitely something that I could have perhaps benefited from. I remember when I first sort of came in about, it was doing the dark course, and I had to go and meet Dermot for the very first time, and I was absolutely pooping myself. It was meeting an absolute stranger, and it's, oh my goodness, I was getting myself in such a paddy. And yeah, look where we are now, eh?
And that's so very descriptive of it, the same story I've heard repeatedly over the years. That initial anxiety, an individual reaching a point of wishing to change. Whatever is happening at that point is now become objectionable. They no longer wish to conduct themselves in that way. They want to change. And that is amazing. That starting point, that window of opportunity, if grasped, can mean miracles happening in a person's life. But then the daunting thought comes of, well, who am I going to speak to? Who am I? All my chums do this. This has been my life for the last 10 years or 10 years longer, or 5 years. This has been my environment. So where do I go? And all of a sudden you find yourself poor, sad, no mates. Yeah. So what the whole process and the purpose of this is to give alternates. Yes, you'll be anxious. Yes, you'll be scared. I remember one chap telling me he 7 times he walked up to the door to meet me for the DART reference, the first meeting, to come in and take a little bit of paperwork. 7 times he got up to the door of the office and then went, no, no, ain't going there, and away past again. Eventually he came in and he was all sweating and everything. It was like, oh, it may sound silly, someone being so scared to go in and meet that person, but it's a massive barrier that we have to try and encourage. So the soft entry into the social groups, like the women's groups, men's groups, the check-in, that gives a soft entry. And especially if the person is really having problems with that social interaction, they can do it from the safety of their own home, a mobile phone, a smartphone. Also, there will be facilities to assist people who maybe don't have access to these things or Wi-Fi access. There are routes that they can be assisted in. So, yeah, exciting times, really is.
Definitely very exciting. And yeah, like I say, that first song that we played, it was just, particular lines in that song. It's everything you ever want is right in front of you. And that's what we are hoping to offer people. So we were chatting before the break there about that sort of soft entry options for people. For people that have maybe been in around recovery for a few months, what are the sort of next steps? And you were mentioning about training opportunities, learning skills, etc. What do you want to tell us a bit more about that, please?
Absolutely. We have, you'll see on the timetable that it'll be up on the website and it will be promoted out through emails and etc. We've laid aside the whole of a Friday in any week. Also space in a Tuesday morning and a Thursday morning, where these will change, but over the process of a year or monthly, let's say, there'll be a rolling process of delivery of training options. Now, involved in that, we'll keep these updated, and there will be a period of time for people to get their names in and place a note of interest in attending the groups. But part of the process that we'll deliver, and it will be over the course of this next year and probably into the next year, is the Scottish Recovery Consortium. We've had lots of the guys from the consortium on doing some talks to us, but they developed a recovery development prospectus. Now within that there are 8 different modules, let's say, things like information about recovery essentials, but one of the things that we will be delivering, one of the early things or the first things we'll be delivering is an introduction to recovery volunteering. Now that's just, many people may have been party to volunteer training with other groups, and with like alcohol and drugs action, they have a volunteering process. But this is sort of specific to the how it connects in with within volunteering and within AiR as an organisation. And one of that is about in taking up volunteering posts, the importance is always still on your own recovery. You can never lose that focus on, this is in this whole development. I want and wish to be more engaged and more involved with others, but we can never lose the point that we have to focus and remember we are still on that recovery process ourselves. We have to take care of self. So that is the sort of early part. We will be delivering group facilitation. It's just a little bit of an idea about what's involved in facilitating a group and some of the responsibilities of that. Obviously, that is for the intent that people, after undertaking the group facilitation, they can be co-facilitate or facilitate the likes of the men's group or the women's groups or the check-ins. Again, it's all about progressive development. The rest of that 8 modules involves a module on motivational interviewing, and that's a technique that people can use when they're engaging with others and trying to develop their communication skills, peer support values and practices, peer research, that's one of the later ones. It'll probably quite a while before we'll do that. Some of these are still in very much the development stage with SRC, but that will be learning others, some of the skills and etc. involved in conducting a research project. There's one on recovery and social media. It's how we can use these new platforms, how to best get that recovery message out there. And hopefully there'll be some skills that everyone can pick up and utilize when they come in and get involved in things like the regular media group, which we will be meeting as previously on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And there's another couple of projects that will be living in that same context. Stigma and me, stigma and us, it's just about an awareness about stigma, how and where it comes from. We can find ourselves, I can still find myself being not as aware as I would like to be in some circumstances, and I can find myself stigmatizing others. And it's just to raise the awareness of that. And then they have, and this will be, it won't be this year, it'll probably in the next year, some guys might have heard of the Recovery College that was delivered previously, but this is now called the Recoverist College, and that is, I can't go into all the detail about it, but it's a whole bank of learning, arming and assisting the individual who would like to class themselves as a recovery activist, a recoverist, about some of the skills that you can go along. And there was a point I had to learn to curb my passion when speaking publicly, because I used to swear a bit. So I had to learn how to appropriately not lose that drive, but actually be able to vocalize it without my emotions getting to a point that I was tripping over my tongue. So that's the sort of skills in learning. There's other areas that we'll be delivering. The peer-to-peer mentor course, which is a program that was developed by the Scottish Recovery Network. That is the organisation, the commissioned organisation that represents people addressing mental health issues. And they developed a beautiful program just to give some skills and learning into the do's and the don'ts about mentoring people. The simplest one is a mentor should be friendly, but a mentor's role is not to be the friend. Yeah, in a mentor's role, you may have to make some constructive challenge, which may not be seen as helpful if it's coming from a friend. But that is why, in a mentor's role, be friendly, yes, but I won't adopt to be your friend. That's maybe keeping it in a very simple way. But the whole course, it will be over 8 or 12 sessions, depending on how we can do it. If it was all face to face, we can do it in less time. But obviously, online, we've got to reduce the length of time of the sessions, so we would have to develop it over maybe 12 sessions. Other things, previously, as part of the Recovery College, we delivered the Steps to Excellence, but that was half of the old Recovery College training course. That's a program that was developed by a chap in America. Joan actually helped me deliver that twice. I think we did it there. Joan, you want to come in?
Yeah, we did the training through the Scottish Recovery Consortium, and Steps to Excellence was developed, as Dermot said, in America through what's called the Pacific Institute, and it is a standalone, what's called Steps to Excellence, but really it's the steps to reaching your potential, and it's a kind of next step from someone who's maybe done the DART course, the Drug and Alcohol Recovery Training course, where maybe fairly early days in recovery, you're building up your own kind of self-awareness, just getting that bit stronger. And you might, through that, start to think of some goals that you have. And the DART training and then the recovery coaching will help you sort of build towards reaching your goals. The Steps to Excellence is similar in that respect, but it's even more building up your self-awareness, building up your self-belief.
Mhm.
You know, it's getting you stronger, believing that you can achieve what you want to achieve. And it's over a period of about 8 weeks, it's building that up. And it's a number of techniques, and motivational interviewing goes alongside that, but it's also some of the psychological aspects about looking at self-talk, what we tell ourselves, listening more to the positive side rather than the negative side. The power of visualization, visualizing yourself in that place where you want to be, and actually what's going on behind the scenes in your mind. Your mind is working all the ways to actually achieve those things. So it's a really fascinating course, partly about psychology, about how to achieve your goals, and partly about the practical steps to get there as well. So we'll be rolling that out over time, and it will be done over a series of about once a week over 8 weeks. So we're really looking forward to that.
Brilliant. That all sounds absolutely fascinating and amazing. And we've spoken about the dark course obviously on the show before, but I've not done the recovery college, so I never got a chance to do that. I think when I sort of first came in about that was running, I was still really early in my recovery. It was a bit sort of daunting and too much to think about and take on board. But certainly the steps to excellence, that sort of individual bitty that we've sort of standalone, as you say, Joan, that sounds really fascinating, and I would love to do that. So for the listeners, if you've just tuned in, we've been chatting today about the opportunities and offerings that AiR are going to be providing in about a week and a half's time. The first week in May, we're looking to roll out the new timetable, and we've just been getting a bit of information about things that are going to be included in that. So we've mentioned about the soft entry, the sort of soft touch stuff with the men's, women's groups, check-ins. We've mentioned a bit there about the training and workshops and things that we'll be running. So the SRC prospectus, and then the peer-to-peer training and the steps to excellence. So is there anything else, Dermot, that we need to add in? Conscious that we've only got sort of 10 minutes left, so is there anything that's absolutely massive that we need to get out there now?
There's not enough time in our radio show this session to get everything out, and certainly not giving it a full explanation of what they all are. But what I would like to say is AiR and all our partners are really taking on board the priority issue that we have to find ways to engage with families. We have to find ways to encourage and identify how we can best proffer support, where it's best delivered, what time of the day, what time of the week it's delivered. But and we are in touch with press that we're going to do a major campaign. We'll have a research project as part of that campaign to try and find out from the individual family members, anyone out there who has been affected by the addictive behavior and substance use of a loved one, please get in touch. We feel, and proof, the evidence is there that family members need to recover too. And as providers of support and other services, ADA, etc., we have to find ways that we can proffer specifically tailored support that is made for the family member to recover, for them to take on processes to look at their circumstance and how they can change for their own benefit. We also need to provide support at appropriate time. We need to find out what time of day, can we provide small creche services. So basically, cutting it as short as I can, we will initially we are holding the whole of Wednesday mornings open to family members. We will avail, myself and a couple of the others, ambassador members who have undertaken craft training. That's community reinforcement and addiction family training, CRAFT, something along that lines. Check the website, guys. So I will be delivering one-to-one support for family members in the craft program. We will also establish a craft group, and how we'll actually do it in a craft workshop. But we'll have a group that will meet specifically to look at things that may be going on for the group members and how we can use craft tools to overcome and address these issues. We'll also provide opportunities for family members to get together and share informally over a cup of coffee, just to get that shared connection, because family members don't have too many out with the family themselves, the core of the family, to be able to reach out and speak about really what's happening with them. So we hope we can go some way to providing that. So the whole of a Wednesday morning will be available to families training. Fun stuff. We have got a couple of guys who, and I can't remember the training course they did, but they were setting up the Walking to Wellness group. And so they'll be leading walks in and around Aberdeen. We'll hopefully roll that on a regular basis. The Grow Free project will be running again in the future, and there'll be a Grow Free program run, and then the Fight Flight Freeze program will be run, and we will have support sessions with that. We'll be looking to introduce some yoga and complementary therapies. We're in communication with individuals who will be able to deliver mindfulness meditation courses and classes. And we would like to introduce, we haven't identified as yet just how we'll do it, but fitness and wellness, fitness, wellness, health. We will have interaction with that. We'll be availing first aid training. We've been speaking to, this collective we, I'm pretty good at this collective we, innit? Lindsay's been in touch with the Red Cross locally, and they have agreed to deliver first aid basic training. We are looking into, with our partner agency, to hopefully do some health and safety training, adult support and protection training. So all in all, and the fact that we're now basing everything at the Credo Centre, we have the opportunities to deliver these things, as I said, on that hybrid basis. We have the face-to-face option, we have the online options, but we also have use of the rooms over evenings and over the weekends. And what we need from you guys is, if there's something that you think would be great, get in touch with us. And we will see how we can best fit that into our program, especially at evenings and at weekends. We have anonymous fellowship meetings. They have been held at different nights during the week, and we hope that will grow. Again, AiR is about providing an option, a menu of options. Give this a try. If it doesn't work, go give this a try. And we hope, no, you know what? It's beyond hope. We now know we are providing a very comprehensive timetable, range of events, groups, association, learning, education that will assist an individual who wishes to engage in a developmental pathway, which can reach a point where they feel confident enough in themselves, confident enough in their own abilities, in their own autonomy, to look and become the individual they were always meant to be. That's what this is all about. So, how much minutes have we left?
Thanks, Dermot. We've still got a couple. But I think it's hugely important to stress that as well. It's what's getting offered. It's not a one size fits all. Recovery is not this is what you must do to recover. It's give this a go. It might work, it might not. I mean, I think everyone that's gotten to a place of stable, longer term recovery have had lapses and relapses because they try something, it doesn't work, they lapse, they relapse, and round the wheel goes. But it's that trying something else, and you will find something that works for you.
It's a basic human instinct. I'm sure there's a point in man's evolution that we were trying to munch rocks, but we found it didn't work. It broke our teeth. So we had to find out and get apples. and found out that apples is good, but then you might eat something that's really nippy, sweet, and God, I like that. So we have to trial and error. That's what life's about. There is not fits all. Our role as a lived experience recovery organisation is to provide a whole range of options. And just before we close, Lindsay, I will push into your time a little bit, but ADA, our principal partners, are still continuing to deliver their DART program, which will include the self-coaching, the recovery coaching. We have timed the timetable so that they don't clash, and that there's a limited amount of any duplication. So you'll still be able to attend the recovery meetings of a morning. Their ADAPT program will still be running, and their families group. And they will also be providing the opportunities at the gardening group, the other interactive groups that they have been doing. So collectively, there's no reason to be bored, guys.
Absolutely, and that's actually a nice lead on, because I have got that scribbled down in my notes, that the DART, we have done a few radio shows, sort of, we've done a back-to-back shows about the DART course and just sort of introducing each of the different weeks, and it's definitely something that I think everyone that I know that's done it have found it massively beneficial. Everyone I've spoken to that hasn't done it and described it to them, they want to do it, because it very much is that first steps into finding yourself, I guess. So I mean, they're currently running a DART course online, but they're looking sort of end of May, beginning of June, I think, to try and get a face-to-face course started up, and that's a six week course. But we do have Fraser from Alcohol and Drugs Action on the show next week, so hopefully we'll be able to give the listeners some more information about their timetable. And I think we're hoping that someone from the service involvement group with ADA will be joining Fraser next week, to let folk know how to get involved with that as well. And on that note, they have another quiz night. It's their second quiz night. The first one was hugely successful. So their second quiz night is running next Saturday night on Zoom. So you can drop the service involvement group an email, serviceinvolvement@alcoholanddrugsaction.org.uk, if you want to take part in that. And as Dermot mentioned as well, we'll put all this information and stuff up on our website. It's www.aberdeeninrecovery.org. It'll also be on all our social media, Facebook @AberdeenInRecovery, and Twitter and Instagram, Republic_AiR. If anyone wants to drop us an email, specifically about the radio show, or the media project, or anything else for that matter, feel free. It's chatterbox@aberdeeninrecovery.org. If anyone is looking for some support and wants to reach out, you can contact Alcohol and Drugs Action. Their phone, it's a free phone number, 0333 344 8355, and that's the same number for the Needle Exchange if you need to get a hold of them. So that number again is free phone, 0333 344 8355. You can catch up with any of our previous shows. We've made reference to a couple of previous shows on this show, on our YouTube channel, Aberdeen in Recovery, and you'll get podcast versions of all of those on there. What else have I got in my notes? Next weekend as well, it's Scottish families are running their virtual kilt walk. So if anyone is interested in doing that, it was a virtual one they done last year as well. Hugely successful, I believe. You can jump onto their website. It's www.sfad.org.uk, and just put in their wee search box kilt walk, and you'll get information on how to get involved in that. And in 2 weeks' time, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, there are some students from NESCOL are running a fundraiser to raise money for Aberdeen in Recovery, and they have organised a murder mystery night. So that will be Saturday. Let me just get the date right. I'm sure it's the 1st. Saturday is the 1st of May. So again, if you jump onto our social media, you will find information on that, or you can search on Facebook the Good Life Local, and that'll take you to all the information to get involved with that. I'm certainly looking forward to it. So I think we've fast run out of time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
The flame in our name
Is to shine a light onto the pathways of recovery,
which will build a bridge from dependence to independence.
For the individual caught in the shadows of addiction
and looking for a way out.